I remember going into our lawyer's office in New York City, big team meeting, like our lawyer, our agent, our manager, some people from the label, and we walk in and everyone's not looking happy at all. And, I was kind of confused. Our record label let us go, and that changed everything. We might be the most successful blind date hang in the history of anyone out there. Our friend was like, you guys should meet. Drew's this talented producer and you're a great DJ. Maybe this could be a really interesting partnership. Very quickly, we jumped into, our ambitions of becoming one of the biggest electronic acts. We had this song called Selfie, which I've come to peace with now. We, made this song in like an hour probably and uploaded it to SoundCloud and went to get tacos and came back and it was like exponentially better than any other song we had released. There were a lot of things that transpired after that, and one of them being we got signed to Republic Records at Universal, which was, an incredible moment for us. But the problem was the song just did not reflect us as individuals and musicians at all. And so we were in this really interesting dilemma where we knew who we wanted to be and the music we wanted to make, but there was a lot of people that were like, just do Selfie too. This is who you are, and this is the stuff, clearly that's successful that you've done. We had this song Roses that we had made, and it was just like, this is it. We're like, this is the song that defines who we are. And we truly believed that that was like the foot forward. So we went into the label and played them Roses, and we were like so pumped, you know what I mean? In our meetings, first of all, they always suck. I think every artist that's watching this can relate to that. Everyone's just kind of closing their eyes and nodding their head. It's not like this standing ovation happens or anything. It's just kind of this weird vibe. And so we left that meeting, feeling pretty damn good about what we had showed them. And I think like a week or two went by and another meeting, we thought was being set up to kind of talk, what are we gonna do for Roses? What's the release plan? And we sit down and they were just like, Universal wants to drop you. They don't want to work with you anymore. They, can tell you're not interested in kind of following in that selfie path lane of these kind of gimmicky songs, and and they just don't want to pour more resources in what you're doing. So to hear that some people that we thought had that belief and confidence in us actually in turn didn't, was pretty crushing. And I remember leaving that office that day just feeling, like the world was over. It was really scary. I remember going home that day and just being like completely dejected because rejection can really be, really demolish your sense of pride and confidence. And coming from someone that has a lot more experience or history or, insider experience. I remember a manager, it's just like, listen, we don't need anyone. I'll sign you to my label. I don't have money really to give you, but if we do what we say we would do, that stuff will come. The next morning, Drew and I were like, let's get back in the studio and start making music. We were starting back at the bottom of the totem pole. And, and this was releasing a song like Roses that really represented us. We put it out, it just felt special, but it didn't skyrocket. It was like a very long, slow climb to the top. And that, ultimately led to this, incredible kind of comeback.
Yo, how y'all feeling out there?
When we finally, had built a platform and, the Chainsmokers were rocking, we started getting all these inbound opportunities to invest in these different companies.
You toured the world as DJs. You decided to get into the VC investing space.
We were having too much fun. I remember when we launched our first venture fund, someone forwarded me an email. They said, oh my God, the Chainsmokers launched a venture fund. This is now officially the end of venture capital. And, that obviously stings reading that. But at the same time, I like similar to how when we felt like we got rejected by the label, I was like, I have never been more motivated to go out and prove people wrong. Nothing would have changed if we had not realized that success is not hinged on the opinions of experts. You kind of have to be an optimist about rejection on some level. And I think, adversity is an important part of everyone's story. While none of us wish for rejection in anything we set out to do, I think it creates a level of resilience and confidence to overcome things like that. I think if you're facing rejection creatively, it's a tough pill to swallow. But I think, there's two things you kind of need to think about. First is, how creative is your problem? Your problem might be that you're just not being creative enough. You know, when Drew and I started making music together, we were making derivative Calvin Harris. Why would anyone want third-rate Calvin Harris music when you could just go get Calvin Harris music? So I think, you know, really understanding, you know, what creatively you're bringing to the table and how unique and authentic that is. Don't be discouraged. We're going to continue to evolve and iterate. You know, facing rejection in a business setting, it's important to understand why somebody rejected you. Doing postmortems, especially in the investment world, and understanding where your decision making was wrong is important. You could have made the right decision, but it just had the wrong outcome. I don't know a single person that hasn't been rejected for something or hasn't faced some level of adversity or friction in something they've wanted to accomplish and achieve. And I think if you're not experiencing that, then you're probably not thinking or dreaming big enough.